Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Lauren, and this channel is all about remote work, location independence, and being able to have the freedom to travel the world as much as you want, whenever you want. In today's video, I'm going to talk about my location independence journey. I'm going to talk about my career path, the different jobs I've had along the way that have helped me travel the world and earn money. And I'm also going to talk about how much money I've made over the last few years, just to give you guys an indication of what is possible. You can earn more than me, but I always find it's nice when people do share their income. It just makes it more realistic and attainable. And yeah, hopefully this gives you some ideas on how you can start your own location independence journey and start making money online. So if that sounds like something you're into, let's jump into it. Okay, just a quick disclaimer before I start my whole spiel. I am shooting with natural light and there are some asshole clouds in the sky today that keep on fucking with my vibe and causing the light to change and stuff. So I know it can be really annoying when you watch videos when the light isn't consistent and all that stuff. So I apologize in advance. You know, one day I'll grow up and be a proper YouTuber with ring lighting and all that jazz. But for today, we have to deal with fucking clouds in the sky. So apologies in advance. Okay, let's get into it. So my location independence journey starts in 2014. I was working as an intern for an international volunteering organization in Cape Town, and I was doing their marketing and their social media. While I was there, I started learning about travel bloggers at that time because we were looking into working with influencers, and I came across The Blonde Abroad and World of Wanderlust. And if you are a big traveler like me, you'll know that those two girls are like some of the biggest travel bloggers in the world. So when I discovered them, I was enthralled. That just started me excessively researching location independence and how to become a digital nomad and trying to figure out how the hell I could make money and travel the world. So my first idea was to ask the company that I was working with at the time. They had multiple offices in different countries. They had offices in Cape Town, Mexico, Laos, Thailand, India, a whole bunch of really cool countries. And I thought, because I did social media, you know, it wouldn't be too much to ask if I could, you know, go work from one of the different hubs, because besides the whole like travel aspect, I was so curious about what it must be like to be an expat, because about 70% of the people I was working with at the time, they were all British expats, and I really wanted that life experience. So I asked my boss if I could go work in the Mexico branch, and they said no. They said that they wanted their entire marketing team to work under the same roof. So that whole idea went out the window, and I started working on my plan B, which was to teach. There we go with the lights, I told you. So I started working on my plan B, which was to teach English abroad. I went online and I signed up for a 140-hour TEFL course with Eye to Eye, and then by the end of that I had a certificate that said I could teach English, which was incredible. And by April of 2016, I had quit my job at that volunteering organization. I had a job offer from a school in Thailand and a one-way ticket to the land of smiles. And I was working there for about 6 months. And I had a lot of free time. For some reason, my school was really chill. They just really wanted me to practice conversational English with the kids, so I didn't even have to do like the theory. So that's when I decided to start my travel blog, Wanderlust Movements, but also to pick up a few freelancing clients. I went onto Upwork and I found 2 social media clients that only wanted me to do their socials for like 2 hours a week. So it was only a small amount of money, but it was really great. I was getting a bunch of testimonials and getting experiences working as a freelancer. And when my 6 months of teaching came to an end, I flew back to South Africa in November of 2016. And I had to make a decision. It was either start doing interviews to get a desk job or turn this little tiny freelancing side gig that I had started into a full-time gig. So obviously I went with the turn the freelancing thing into a full-time gig option, and I gave myself a goal. I worked out all my expenses, which was basically, you know, all my debit orders, food, all the stuff that I just need to exist. And I think that came up to about 5,000 or 6,000 rand a month, because I wasn't paying rent at the time and I was staying at my mom's house and my best friend's house. Hadn't really figured out where I was going to stay. So I had low startup costs essentially. And I went back onto Upwork and I started applying to basically every single freelancing or writing gig that I thought was interesting. And that worked out for me. I did make my goal of 5,000, 6,000 Rand that month, but I even exceeded it. I made about 15,000 Rand in November and around the same amount in December of 2016. And I added up my total amount that I made throughout that year of freelancing, including the social media work that I had done earlier, and I made about 44,000 Rand, which was incredible and gave me a lot of confidence to pursue this further into 2017, which is what I did. So 2017 was my first full year of traveling and being a digital nomad and working online and all this stuff. I started the year with a backpacking trip from Drakensberg in South Africa all the way down to Cape Town, and that was a whole month-long trip, and it was absolutely incredible. But it came with its own challenges because I had to figure out how to balance sightseeing with doing my work on time. And I also ended up firing my first client that month, so it was a huge learning curve. And then later in 2017 I picked up my first big retainer contract as a writer, which was great because that contract alone covered all my expenses. So any other work that I picked up was just more money in my pocket, which was really, really great. And I ended 2017 off with making 230,000 Rand. So that is about 20,000 Rand a month. That was like the most amount of money I had ever made in my life at that point, because I was only making about 12 to 14,000 at my last full-time job. So I was so stoked with how well this was going. And then we go into 2018. So 2018 was the year that I learned I had to do taxes as a freelancer, and that was fun. I highly recommend you guys get an accountant if you are going to go into freelancing. It's so much easier. You just have to send them stuff and then they tell you how much you pay and it's done, and you don't have to do all the weird maths. But anyway, 2018 was also a big year because I had a digital nomad trip. It was the first one that I did. And a digital nomad trip is essentially when a group of digital nomads get together and they spend like a month in a country exploring it and working together. And I think they're really valuable because of the skill share that takes place. Most of you know, because we're all kind of stuck at home at the moment, it gets really isolating and lonely. So when you do go on these trips and you get to socialize a bit more, you pick up a lot of skills that you wouldn't have necessarily picked up by yourself. For example, on this first trip, I learned how to Instagram. I had 2,000 followers when I arrived. I met a girl there who was basically an Instagram marketeer, and she taught me how to grow my platform. And in about 5 months, I had 10,000 followers. And then I also had my first 50,000 Rand month in 2017, which was absolutely incredible. Blew my mind that I had made like that amount of money from freelance writing. And then we enter 2019. I had a bit of a deviation in my career path. I stopped freelance writing and I picked up a job as a community/blog manager for a really well-known travel blogger. So basically I was just helping her with the admin side of her blog, like uploading blogs and, resizing photos and helping her with community management. And I did that for about 6 months before I decided that I was really missing writing because that is my passion and I didn't really have that creative outlet. And I realized I don't really enjoy social media management that much anymore. So we parted ways, we're still on great terms, and I threw myself back into freelance writing. And while I did that, I did a bunch of trips. I had a Europe trip with my mom. We did Italy, Croatia, and Greece. I did Lake Malawi for my birthday. And then I had 3 big South African road trips that year. The largest one was Cape to Kruger, which I did with a bunch of influencers. And that was one of my first brand trips because we were shooting products for a whole bunch of different brands. And I had never done that with my blog before, so that was really fun. At the end of 2019, my monthly salary was hovering between 35,000 to 40,000 Rand a month, which was incredible. And I had another 50,000 Rand a month, which I was so stoked about. And then we enter 2020. So 2020, it hasn't been great, especially because I'm a freelancer and my niche is the travel industry. So I started bleeding contracts when the whole world started going to shit in February. I've had to pivot my niche completely away from travel. I'm now focusing more on remote work, as you can see with this channel, as well as other niches that I really enjoy writing about, such as health and wellness and digital marketing. It's worked out so far. I've managed to find a few new contracts. My income is still not as stable as it was last year, but it's getting there, and hopefully as things start to go back to the new normal, things will start to feel a bit more stable in my life. But anyway, I can't complain because, you know, unlike a lot of people, I am still able to make money. And that's the end of my location independence journey so far. Hopefully you guys found this video valuable. If you have any questions around remote work or location independence, please let me know in the comments below, or you can even reach out to me on Instagram at the Wanderlust Movement. I'd love to geek out with you guys about this topic and help you wherever I can. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers!